were talking about how old everybody's going to be on their next birthday.
That's right.
Isaac says, I'm going to be 5. Elliot's going to be 3. Daddy, how old are you going to be? I said, I'll be 36. And it dawned on me, I'll be 36. I'll be closer to 40 than to 30. And for just a moment, just for a flicker of time, I felt that dread.
You're going to buy a motorcycle?
I'm going to buy a motorcycle.
Where's the next motorcycle from?
Well, I would happily pay a 30% tax on my next motorcycle. But I felt for the first time, I felt 2 feelings for the first time that I've never felt before. One was that dread of, I'm going to be 40. I'll be 40 years old. Okay, that's kind of scary. And I was grateful because as soon as I had that thought, I captured it.
That's what the Bible says to do. They say capture the thoughts.
I captured the thought. I took every thought captive. And it occurred to me, I then had a second feeling I've never had before. And I thought,
joy.
It's like, it's not much longer now. No. I thought, when I get old, I don't have to care what people think about me anymore. And if I was like, this is why old people are the way they are. They can be very singularly focused, like you were talking about. They don't have to. They're just like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I don't care.
And I have financial security.
I have financial security, and also I'm not going to be here much longer. So like, I can say whatever thing I want.
And you have to come here for holidays. So I don't care what you think. It's a great way to live, actually.
They just don't have to care anymore. And it felt good for a second. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not there yet. I still care what people think about me, but it's nice to know that when I'm getting older and I have to start thinking about that, I can also think about
the benefits.
The benefits of like, how much of my time do I spend worrying what other people think about me? I don't have to think about that anymore. Think about the time investment that I'll get back. That's like adding years to my life.
It is. You know, I'm thinking ours are so similar. Why did we both have that same thought? And because it differs whenever something happens and 2 people have known each other forever, they have the same kind of thought and it leads them in 2 different directions but similar paths. And I think it's because Meemaw passed away this week.
That's probably
what
is what happened.
We were both thinking about what it's like to be older.
That's right. That is correct.
Because Meemaw, she's kind of like the communal grandmother for our generation, and she would just say the funniest things sometimes, like just didn't care.
She didn't care.
She didn't care, which was awesome.
I always respected her for that.
Yeah,
basically our last grandma.
That's so true. I didn't think about that. But
and she wasn't really our grandma.
But we called her Meemaw, like all of her grandkids did.
We've known her. Yeah. I mean, you've known her your whole life. I've known her since I was 3. So, and we lost Pop Pop last year, or
2 years.
2 years ago now.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. And we lost both of our grandmas over the course of the last 20 years or so. So
the weird thing is, her husband Paul Paul, we call him Paul Paul. He died like 20 plus years ago at this point. And I don't remember Paul Paul that much. I remember the feeling that he would give you, like the nice feeling. But I don't remember his personality.
Yeah.
I do a little bit, but I don't remember like his gestures and the way he made.
Yeah.
But what was weird is I had a dream the day before Meemaw's funeral, and it was him. And my mind, it was so weird. It was projecting, we were like all in a room together, and it was projecting how he was like with his gestures and how he was through molding all of the Willises together and packaging into an older version. And it was convincing. I woke up and I thought,
now you know.
That's how he maybe was, even though maybe he wasn't. But like that's how my mind, and I couldn't do that when I am awake. How do you do that when you're asleep? It really I was like, that's so weird.
There are things that, I mean, in 100, 200 years, we don't know nothing. We don't know anything about how anything works. No. Dude, I had a thought this week too. I was thinking about how do you explain death while we're talking about all this stuff. And I thought that a really good way to explain, especially when you're talking to your kids and stuff, like how do you explain this stuff? And I thought a really good way to explain it is think about a radio dial that is tuned to one station.
Yeah.
That's on a frequency. And when you're on that frequency, that's the only thing you can hear. But if you tilt that thing just slightly, now you're somewhere completely different, on a completely different wavelength.
Yeah.
That's
true.
That's
Yeah.
what death. That's a good way to explain kind of the idea of what is like. There could be frequencies. There are so many things that are there that we just can't see because we are tuned into this one space.
It's true because waves is a transfer of energy without moving mass in some way. So it's like you could transfer your essence to something else, to another place without the physical body moving. You can still transfer like the energy to a different.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to say that.
That's what I'm saying. I think that the idea of energy transference and stuff, that is going to be the kind of thing that we one day.
That's the singularity at that point. If you can explain what the smallest particle is created out of, and that's string theory, but who knows if it's true. But if you can narrow everything down to what the ultimate smallest particle is created out of, which they think is a string of energy, and then when it's in a loop, it turns into, and they're combined, it turns into the smallest particle. That's the thought, at least. Okay. If they can figure that out, then it opens up a lot of stuff. It opens up kind of physics would then be connected to chemistry. As far as I can understand, I've looked a little bit into this, but I'm probably butchering this, but it kind of puts if they can come up with the smallest particle, it kind of connects all of the different disciplines in school that you would.
Okay, that's cool.
It all kind of comes down to energy.
Okay.
So maybe that would help explain some stuff, make us actually know things.
You know, when you talk about that, you'll have a dream that you'll think that an animal died outside. Then you'll go outside in the morning and the animal had died or whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like there's
definitely some telepathic something going on.
There's something.
There's a connection
There's
somehow.
something that exists that we don't understand.
Yeah.
That is anecdotal at this time, but one day will make sense and people will say, how do they not understand that?
Or maybe it won't ever make sense. And then when you die, all of a sudden it makes sense. And you just are like, oh, idiots. That's what you that would be my first thought. I'll think idiots.
Like that's what the afterlife or heaven is. It's just like all of a sudden this, and you this is what it all meant.
That's what it was.
I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's what I think.
Okay. Well, anyways, we miss you, Meemaw.
Yes, we do.